So we have a double whammy. Supposedly our sea is going up and our harbor is sinking down, so you add the two together and we're actually getting more of an impact than what other places might get. So things are going up and things are going down all the time, depending upon the pressures either on top or the pressures pulling down it or from plate tectonics. That, what it's doing to Halifax, at the end of the day, it's causing Halifax around the harbor to start going down slightly into the ocean. So we are literally sinking. There's a subsidence. We're going down over time. It could be up to, a few millimeters a year, if that, which is not a lot if you think about it. But if you add it over 1,000 years or 10,000 years, that's a lot of millimeters and that's a lot of sinking. The whole planet is not static. It doesn't just sit there. Everything that we see around us hasn't always been in the same place. Nova Scotia was not always where you think Nova Scotia is today. One of the things that happens in plate tectonics is that when we move, parts of the Earth will start to sink down and some parts will rise up. There are parts of the world that are growing. New mountains are coming up all the time. And there are parts that are sinking down underneath the Earth. Maybe right now we're saying things are moving along smoothly, and in 10 years' time, boom, we're hit with a massive crisis. And then for the next 50 years, things start to level off. It's the great if. It's a good thing to think about it now because the costs involved in dealing with it, we're not going to prevent it. There's no way right now that we're going to prevent sea level rise or climate change or anything like that. But what we have to look at is basically, how do you get people prepared for the cost involved? I would say most of the people in Nova Scotia can look out their window and walk around and say, I understand how things have looked over the last 50 years and things are different. Well, talk about those differences. That sort of stuff helps the scientists start to try to ask the right questions about the right place, because we can't be everywhere. Be very careful of what you hear and what you read. Be critical about it. There's this huge thing about a debate in science that, some people are saying there is climate change and some people say there isn't. That's a false debate.